Hard to maintain any fantasy for long. Mind you, this wasn't just abstract cynicism talking. It came from months of experience. And in my months of experience, I'd learned that even when these internet women weren't lying about important things like age, then they were lying about ridiculous things. Things I wouldn't have even cared about had they told me the truth. But when I discovered they lied about it, I had to assume it meant something. Last month, for example, I went out with this divorced real estate agent from Baton Rouge named Usha. She lied about all kinds of trivialities. Favorite food? Italian. Trusting this preference in her profile, I suggested going to the Olive Garden on our first date. It had been a tiring 6-hour drive from Claiborne to Baton Rouge, but I wanted to show her that I was sensitive to this detail about her, that I cared enough to remember. Upon hearing my suggestion, she shrugged and explained that Italian wasn't really her favorite. She wanted a steak. Feeling rebuked, I asked her why she didn't just say steak on her profile. She replied that she was afraid of scaring the divorced and widowed Hindu vegetarian men from answering. Now, I wasn't an unsympathetic man or a vegetarian. And while I questioned the sanity of anyone who enjoyed masticating thick slabs of beef, I understood that a 42-year-old divorcee with 2 teenage kids needed to expand her pool of possibilities in any way she could. Only that wasn't all. Over the course of that evening, which began and ended at Matthew's Steakhouse, I discovered that in the dozen emails and phone conversations leading up to our fateful meeting, she'd lied about her car, a Honda, not a Volvo, her glasses prescription for nearsightedness, -4, not -2, her tennis elbow, she didn't even own a racket, and her subscription to National Geographic. Ha! None of those things in isolation would have caused me to do more than raise a puzzled eyebrow. But read together, the insignificance of those lies added up to one significant thing. She was a liar. There had been countless such evenings. During the long and sometimes multi-state drives back home, when disappointment sat in the back of my throat like undigested food, I'd say to myself, "Enough, old man. Enough of this silly business." But at such moments, I too was a liar. For within minutes of pulling into my garage, I'd head straight for the buzzing glow of my computer. I'd check for new responses, answer the promising ones, and update my profile. The 3-step ritual that had become second nature to me, like the windshield to rearview mirror to speedometer visual reflex of driving. Nikesh called me, hooked. I'd describe my dating mishaps to him, and he'd say, "If they're so bad, then stop. Or just stay local at least." Local? What was the point of trying to meet an Indian woman in Claiborne? They were all friends with my ex-wife Lata, who'd left me and would therefore be biased against me. And a non-Indian woman? That was too foreign to contemplate. But I didn't say any of this to my son. Instead, I'd meekly reply, "You're right. This is the last one. No more." But he wouldn't believe me. He'd chuckle and chide, "You're hooked, Dad." He was right. I had yet to go on a good date, but I wasn't ready to stop. Out of the corner of my eye, I could see a curtain flutter in the front window of Malika's house, a ripple of black hair against the glass. Was Malika peeking out? Was she wondering why I hadn't gotten out of the car yet? Hadn't crossed the dried expanse of lawn to her front door? I thumbed my brows one last time. I ran my palms over my grayed, but mostly full, head of hair. I unbuckled my seatbelt, leaned forward, and then fell back again, my back hitting the leather with a loud smack.